I asked you guys to ask me some questions on Patreon. On Patreon, what I do is I've got a hot sauce subscription where I'm every month every month you receive a bottle of hot sauce from a different maker. I'm going to answer the question in here. Someone asked me, I'm seeing because it's the #1 question, how I pick it, why do I do this? The goal of my Patreon is to get the greatest quality hot sauces into your hands. And so I partner with a different maker every month, and I get the highest quality. And I get the highest quality hot sauce that I can possibly source into your hands. Over the years, I've tasted thousands of bottles of hot sauce, and I've got opinions on it. I've talked with a lot of hot sauce makers over the years. I've looked at thousands of bottles of hot sauce with different kinds of ingredients, and I've come across what I believe to be some of the best. So I work with those makers, and I get the best quality hot sauce in your hands. The goal is to get you to try something that you might not even considered to try before, and then all of you know it, before you know it, it might be like your new favorite hot sauce. This month's sauce is actually right over there. It's my hot sauce. It's Hotter Ghost of Saffron. It is a fantastic sauce. I'm not just saying that because it's my sauce. I would be saying that regardless, but it is a very delicious sauce, and there is a secret surprise that's coming with it that you're gonna have to learn if you're in. But I don't make a lot of money off of it. It's not about the money. It's about getting the best sauce into your hands and about supporting the industry. So anyways, on to some questions, and I'm gonna be trying scissor sauce from Revolutionary Hot Sauce. It's a 4 out of 5. I'm gonna be doing that in the middle here. So anyways, let's get into it. These are your questions from Patreon. Starting at the top. All right, Jacob Boatwright. I asked people if I can use their name, by the way. So Jacob Boatwright, Jacob, thank you very much for your question. I'm actually curious in how you pick the hot sauce of the month. You can shout me out. All right, Jacob. So basically, as I've tasted all these hot sauces throughout the years, there's makers where I'm like, that is such a freaking good sauce, or I really like this maker because I like how they approach sauce. So really well-made sauce. You can see the personality of the hot sauce maker when you're doing it, like if it's gonna be super hot, or how they're building the flavor profiles. Do they care about the ingredients that are in their sauce? Do they not care about the ingredients in their sauce? Like, how do they do their labels? How do they talk about their sauce? You can tell if they care, and it comes through in the personality of the sauce, the flavor profiles of the sauce. And so I've got a list of makers that I love in my head. I got a list, and so if there's like a very particular sauce, like for instance, the sauce is coming out 2 months from now. Hopefully you'll learn if you join the hot sauce subscription. It's tied in with a harvest, and it's like one of the best sauces that I've had, and it's a very particular sauce made with a very particular ingredient, and it's based off of a harvest that's coming in. So I had to like set that up like 8 months ahead of time because it's based on the harvest. So basically, I reach out to makers, have a discussion with them, say these are the sauces that I love, see what their capabilities are. You know, some of these are really big hot sauce makers, some of them are teeny tiny hot sauce makers. So I have sauces in my brain, I reach out to them, we talk about new sauces coming out, I try them, make sure they're good. It's only the best quality. Okay. Moving on. Lisa Johnson says, what's your favorite restaurant you've been to and the favorite meal from there? Or what is the strangest thing you've eaten that was good? You can definitely use my name. Thank you, Lisa. This is so hard. Weirdly enough, the best food I've ever had has been I live in Cincinnati, and the best iteration of those foods have been in Cincinnati, even when I've traveled abroad. Like, I've been to Italy multiple times, and I've had pizza in Naples, I've had pasta in Rome, I've had Italian foods all over the place. So, but the best pasta, the best Italian food I've ever had is at a restaurant called Soto here in Cincinnati. Absolutely fantastic. The best pizza that I've ever had in my entire life from a pizza place in here, it's called St. Francis a Pizza, the best pizza I've ever had. Even though I've had very, very good pizza and otherwise. But to answer your question, let's see here. So what is the strangest thing you've ever eaten that was good? Quick ones. One of the best meals I've ever had that was surprising to me was in Italy. It was in Venice, right in like the super touristy section, but it was this little tiny hidden restaurant, and it was a game hen on their menu. So it was a game hen, and it was roasted, and it was stuffed with something. I don't remember that, honestly. I don't remember it that much. It was stuffed with vegetables, I believe, and some sort of like starch potatoes or something like that, and it was like unbelievably delicious. And I didn't think it was going to be like that spectacular because we were like in the middle of tourist town, Venice, but it was like off the beaten path a little bit. But it was absolutely incredible. Now, the worst thing I've ever eaten in my entire life was in Paris, and that is andouette quadruple A sausage. 1, 2, 3, 4 A's. You know, I sit down, I'm like, I see andouette sausage on the menu. I was like, andouille sausage, andouette. Gotta be similar. No, it's not. It's like roughly chopped heart and lungs in a natural casing, and when I touched it, it just exploded, and it smelled and kind of, I don't know what it tasted like, but it kind of smelled like poop. Worst thing I've ever eaten. But people love it, and it's an acquired taste, I'm assuming. Okay. Let's see here. Moving on down. Michael Bergeron says, what is your favorite hot sauce of all time? And yes, you can use my name. I've already used it. It's so hard for me to say that because I'm going to say my favorite sauce is my own sauce. And that's only because I never wanted to make a sauce, and I put the ingredients that I love most in sauce in that sauce. So my sauce is my favorite. But outside of that, I don't really like to publicly put out a list of my favorite sauce, but at the end of every year, I do make a video on my top 5 favorite sauces from that year. So I did one in 2022, and I'm gonna do one again in 2023. So, like, as I'm tasting sauces throughout the year, where'd my knife go? As I'm tasting sauces throughout the year, and one like really stands out. Normally I make note of it in the video, and 2, I have a little post-it note above my my desk, and I just kind of write that down, and it's like an ongoing list of my favorites of the year. And at the end of the year, if I have more than 5, I'll do a second tasting, and I'll narrow it down, and then I'll make a video. It comes out in December. Okay. Randy Hollow says, he says I can use his name. He says, what's your favorite video game to play with Andy, Justin, and the guys? Okay, a couple of them. My long term, I love Skater XL. Me and Andy have been playing it for a very, very long time. I have a video game channel, Taco Game Time, that I do with Andy Schrock. If you guys are not familiar with my video game channel, I have it. I do it with Andy. We've been playing Skater XL a lot. It's the closest thing to like real life skateboarding that you can get with the most like realistic controls. The controls just make sense. Like your left foot, like the left stick's your left foot and the right stick's your right foot, and it just makes sense from a skateboarder's perspective. The physics are a little bit off, but you can adjust those. I kind of like them a little bit floaty just because it makes it like kind of easier to, do your tricks. But it is a fantastic game. And I also, not weirdly enough, it's a great game. I think it's like one of the most popular games ever made, Minecraft. Like, Andy and I we called it Mastering Minecraft, going from knowing literally nothing about Minecraft to beating the game. So we did that in Taco Game Time. Played through the entire game, going all the way to beating the Ender Dragon. And I miss those days so much. It was so wonderful. So if you want to go see that, Taco Game Time is my channel with Andy. We've been doing it for a very long time, and we have a lot of fun. Okay, moving down. Bone Enterprise says, this is actually a hard one, especially thinking back on what you may or may not have already answered over the years, so can you pick from one of these? If you use mine, fine with my name being used. Let me know if you want my real one. I don't know your real name, I'm sorry. What got you in the hot sauce game? I think you may already answered this. So what got me into it? I have always loved spicy food, but when it comes to particularly my channel, everyone around me, I own a couple skateboard companies, everyone around me had YouTube channels, and I wanted to have my own channel. And so I was like, what do I like? I was like, I like spicy food. And so I did a video with Andy, my business partner, and we did the Pocky One Chip Challenge. And it was very hot. It was the hottest thing I've ever done at the time. We put a slice of Carolina Reaper on it. Incredibly spicy. And so we filmed that video, and you guys liked it, so I filmed another. And then I filmed another. And then I started doing like hot sauce videos where I do like multiple companies at the same time. And I really enjoyed doing those videos. And then people were like, I bought this bottle of hot sauce because of your recommendation. And I was like, all right, I should probably like start taking this a little bit more seriously. And so I worked on like how to taste sauce and working at like tasting food in general and trying to articulate my opinion on things. I still don't like them calling reviews, even though technically they are reviews now, or they always have been reviews. I feel weird about calling it reviews because I'm not like a classically trained person. I'm just a person on the internet who started tasting stuff, but I've been doing it a long time and I have opinions, and I don't know, sometimes you guys trust my opinion for some weird reason. And then he's got a secondary question. He says, other than hot sauce, skateboarding, and photography, what are your other passions? Those are definitely my favorite things that I like to do in the world. But I'm also very passionate about running. I'm a big runner. I like to run all distances, but particularly I like the ultra distance, so anything over a marathon. My favorite distance is, I don't know. I like the 100K, 100-mile distance. I've only done 200-mile races, but I like that distance a lot. It's kind of like life in a day. I like things that you can like hyper focus on, where it like you kind of forget about everything else in life, and you're just like focused on this one task at hand, and that's making it from point A to point B, and working through something extremely challenging, and that's what a 100-mile race would be. It's very difficult to do, and you experience all of the ups and downs of life in a 24-hour period of time. Even though I've never completed it under 24 hours, my 100-mile PR is, I think, 27 hours, something like that. Anyways, doesn't matter. I like to run. Can I use your? I can use your name. Curtis Ellis. How difficult is it to convince your friends to do hot sauce videos? And other than Justin Lonica being your go-to, who is the easiest to get and the most difficult to get into a video? You can use my name. It has gotten so hard to get people to do it. Justin Lonaker is basically always says yes if he's available. I try not to ruin him because he's like, I'll do the video, but I would like to skateboard that day. So we try not to do crampy times. Andy is harder, one, because he's super busy. A lot of people just, they don't want me to wreck them. So normally I just end up wrecking myself. There are some people that are around me that I can do and bring in people, things like that. People like inside the chili head community, the hot sauce community are definitely going to be down to do it, but it's more of like a logistics thing. But I like to do some more of that. All right, let's do a little break and taste this sauce. So this is a habanero and chipotle sauce. 4 out of 5. I'm not even going to get into the ingredients. I just want to taste it. This is a maker that I love a lot. Extremely flavorful sauces, jam-packed with flavor. So this is saying a 4 out of 5 on the heat scale. And it's let's say habanero? Habanero and chipotle. Habanero is either on the top of the list or there's something else at habanero in here. Boy, doggy, that is spicy and delicious. There's something hotter than habanero in here. Well, orange habanero is the #1 ingredient. That's why. That is so good. So good. God. My mouth is going to be watering for the rest of this video now. All right, Paul Schillinger says, okay, picture this. You've been recruited by the Reds, and they've picked you in the starting lineup. You're up to bat. What's your walkout song? Oh my God, feel free to use my name. Oh no, what would I use? I think I'd go with something really funny because I think it would like really stick out. Something super short and hilarious. I would come out to, and this is not my favorite song. I just think it'd be funny. I would use I Like Food by The Descendants because I think that'd be hilarious. If you have not heard of that song or heard that song, look it up. I think it's like 12 seconds long. And it's exactly what it sounds like. All right, you can use my name. Brandon Spencer says, I believe that I've heard you mention this, that you're originally from upstate New York. Upstate New York. If so, how did you get to Ohio and what was the first hot sauce you enjoyed? You can use my name. I am from Buffalo, New York originally, and my father moved us here when I was 9 years old. My father worked for Kellogg's, Keebler Kellogg's, for his entire career, and he got promoted, and he was working with Kroger, who is based out of Cincinnati. And so he moved me here when I was 9 years old. And the first hot sauce I probably ever tried and enjoyed, probably Frank's. That's the base for buffalo wing sauce. I'm assuming it's Frank's. Or Tabasco or something. I don't know what the first sauce I ever tried was. But I still like both those sauces. Roger Taylor asks, do you try locally crafted sauces? I'm from a residential kitchen. That's tricky. That's a tricky slope. So, yes, I try locally crafted sauces. I generally do not try sauces that are not FDA approved because if sauce is made incorrectly, then it can be dangerous. You can have very nasty things that grow inside of hot sauce if it's not been made correctly. And one, I want to make sure I set a good example when I'm on the internet with things like that. Food safety is very important. And like when you're setting up a business, like a hot sauce business, I think you should go through the appropriate steps to set up your company as a legitimate company if you're selling something, selling a product to people that people are going to eat. So I will say that if the sauce makes it into a video on my channel, it's either an FDA-approved sauce or I know you real well. And I know that you're working in a commercial kitchen. Like, I know for a fact it's not going to be an issue. And that's a real slippery slope. And I take it on a case-to-case basis. But that's how I kind of do it. But yeah, I mean, I try a lot of local sauces. There's a lot of great sauce makers here in Cincinnati where I'm at. Okay. Michael Peterson says, I've got a few questions for you. Let's see here. Why do you think sour cream and similar products should be illegal? Have you tasted them? They're disgusting. It's foul. Like, you know, like, it's like some ingredients are good on their own, but you mix them together and it becomes this terrible thing. Like toothpaste and orange juice. They're both fine. Put them together, not so good. That's the case with mayonnaise to me. Honestly, I don't know what it is. It's more of like a phobia and that kind of thing. Like, I've had like aiolis and things like that I'm fine with. I've just, like, all the cases that you would normally enjoy these foods with, like sour cream and mayonnaise, the two things that I like despise the most. I've had them, like, if you were to put those on a sandwich, I've had that sandwich that you put that on without it so often that my brain has associated what those flavor profiles are without it. And so when I add it, it just becomes like this like foul thing to me. It's a phobia. It's not based on realistic things. Like, I like all of the ingredients within those. To take it a step further, things I don't like, or I like that make no sense. Like, I'll eat a Caesar dressing, which normally has mayonnaise in it. Makes no sense. Blue cheese dressing. I like blue cheese. Blue cheese is way gnarlier than any like mayonnaise or sour cream, and I like blue cheese dressing is going to have sour cream in it, generally speaking, and I will still have a salad with blue cheese dressing on it. This makes no sense. There's no method to my mayhem. Okay. Did I know that the band Cannibal Corpse is from Buffalo? I did not know that, but I'm from Buffalo. And, I'm not a fan of Cannibal Corpse, but one of my employees, Ryan Chambers, is a gigantic fan of Cannibal Corpse. We got a bunch of questions left, so I'm going to go from the bottom and move up now. Dylan Brown says, at what point for you is hot too hot to be enjoyable, or do you find some element of joy in all levels of heat? I will say, generally speaking, that I find something enjoyable in all of the realms. Like, I've said multiple times, lime lament back there, the hottest thing I've ever had, ounce for ounce, like by weight. Like, one drop of that was like pure panic, like walking around the building, and I got done with it, and I was like, man, that was a gnarly experience. I came out on the other side of it, got a good rush out of it. I love it. Super mild sauces generally taste really good, or their flavor-forward sauces taste so good, like I'm going to be pretty stoked on that sauce, you know what I'm saying? So I can find things and appreciate things out of most things, unless it's just not well made. As long as if it tastes terrible, then no. But heat-wise, I'm going to find something positive about it, generally speaking. If I don't like it, it's because of a flavor thing. Keith, he says, I'm late to this one. But if you had to give up either skateboarding or spicy foods, which one would you choose to keep? I don't know, Keith. I don't want to answer that question. I'm just going to keep on doing both of them forever until I can't do one of them anymore. I'll probably just have to stop skateboarding before I do spicy food. Spicy food can't hurt you. Skateboarding, I'm going to get too old to skateboard someday. I don't want to answer that question, Keith. Brian Ducker. You can use my name. You mentioned being a home brewer at one time. What kind of beers do you like to brew? I've always enjoyed hoppy beers, intensify spicy food, and tend to brew it with in mind. Do you have any beers with hot sauce combinations that paired well with each other? You can use my name. I don't drink anymore, Brian. So I used to be a home brewer. I recently quit drinking. It's in January. I did like a dry January thing because I was training for a race and I had a little bit of high blood pressure, and my high blood pressure went away when I stopped drinking. So I quit drinking alcohol. But that being said, there's a lot of really great non-alcoholic beers out there. Athletic Brewing makes some of the best. Brewdog and Athletic Brewing make the best NA beers out there, like absolutely hands down. Like, it's not even a contest. And they make some really hoppy stuff. So I prefer the hoppy stuff. I disagree with it intensifies spicy food. I think it helps the spicy food. So if you're eating something super, super hot, you want to counter that with the bitterness from a big old like IPA. Like, that's going to work well. Curtis Ellis, what's your favorite taco? I like them simple. I had a brisket taco recently that was absolutely fantastic. There's a taqueria in Culver City, California. They make what they call a gringo taco. Super good. That one's all about the tortilla. It's like crispy and soft simultaneously. So freaking good. But I just like really good tacos. Dylan Brown says, why do you hate Verdes so much? I don't hate Verdes. It's just one of the styles. It's like, I think it's one of the hardest styles to do and to do well. Generally, Verdes are lacking in sodium. I think they need a lot of salt. And I think that they need a lot of passion, or something fun's got to be happening in a Verde. Like, you got to have something cool going on in there. It's just a really hard style to be interesting. They're not bad, it's just really hard to make something special. And so when you find a Verde that is really special, it's something extremely special. Daniel Moore says, would you consider adding a higher tier to the Patreon subscription that includes a second bottle of even hotter sauce from the same company? So maybe. It's already pretty complicated. So I did just add a second tier that is for international customers. So if you live outside the USA, I've added a tier specifically for the international crowd. So that is available. Now when it comes to an even hotter sauce from the same company, it's possible, but it would be tough because then I got to find a hot sauce company that one makes 2 bomb bottles of sauce. And they got one that's like, that would mean that I would have to do one like mild or medium and then one specifically hot. And I don't want there to be a conflict of interest in there. But what I need to be doing is, I need to be including a wave of sauces where there's some mild ones, some medium ones, and hot ones. And I'm adding some hotter sauces to it. It's hard because I've like pre-planned out a lot of this, and I got a lot of companies in the get-go, but I got some hotter stuff coming, so don't worry. But like Hotter Ghost of Saffron this month one is very strategic to give you guys the Hotter Ghost of Saffron because it's significantly hotter than the other one. But I got some hotter stuff coming down the line, so don't worry. Okay, let's see here. Adam Dilbeck says, Shadow from Georgia. Only had Skyline once and it was amazing. What's a good hot sauce recommendation to go with it? They finally started carrying cans of it down here, so I have to know. Feel free to use my name. So Skyline has their own hot sauce that comes with it. It's basically their version of kind of like it's almost like a Cholula. It's a vinegar forward sauce, but it has some body to it. It's got xanthan gum in it, and so it's got like some creaminess to it. Because everything is like in suspension. But it's a very high vinegar content. So for nostalgic reasons, I would go with that. So I would say to you, for my nostalgia, I would think of things like Tabasco, Cholula, go with like a high vinegar sauce, things like that. The Skyline is a pretty dense thing. If you're not familiar with Skyline, it's Cincinnati style chili. It's kind of like a chili sauce. Stepping outside of it, like a sauce like this would be really good. Like a habanero chipotle. Like this has got some oil. I believe there's oil in here. Extra virgin olive oil. Like a table sauce, so it doesn't have like super competing flavors, even though this has got chipotle in it, so it's got a lot of smoke going on. The sauce is very tasty, by the way. Like a sauce like this, I think would be really good because it's gonna stick to it. It's not gonna be like crazy in like as much as I love my sauce, I would put my sauce on Skyline, but it's not necessarily the best choice because it's like that's got a lot of taco flavors. Even though I put my sauce on like freaking pasta. But anyways, I think something like that or Tabasco, that's what you're gonna wanna go with. Last question. All right, Rich Falk says, that's a tough one. Are you still amazed by the evolution of the spicy world now as opposed to not at all that long ago when choices were fairly limited? It's really great how you highlight all the unique and delicious products that are available, and I can't help but remember how I had to make all of my own actual spicy sauces and powders and such. It still blows me away when I can get something with actual heat and delicious flavor in a gas station, and I wonder if you feel the same. You can, of course, use my name. Rick, yes. This is why, like, okay, for instance, like, I'll just go real talk with you. I don't eat a lot of fast food. I basically never eat fast food, but I will forever do videos on, like, fast food on the channel because, say you're a person who doesn't like spicy food at all. And you can baby step your way in by having this, like, for instance, like the new jalapeno McMuffin that McDonald's just put out, or whatever spicy burger that Burger King or Wendy's puts out. If you try that and you're like, oh, this is really good, and my tolerance is higher than I originally thought, then now you're stepping into that spicy world, and you're gonna enjoy it, and hopefully it's opening a wormhole, and you're gonna get into hot sauce and super spicy food, and you're just gonna, and the industry grows, and I just think that people are just starting to really get into that, and you can see it, and so I'm seeing this go by leaps and bounds. I'm gonna screw this up, but I believe that like in like the late 90s, I want to say like 98, 99, like the habanero was one of the hottest peppers in the world in 1999. Like that blows my mind compared to what is available now. Don't quote me on that because I know that's not probably factual, but it's somewhat factual. So I don't know. It's grown a lot. I love it so much. It gets better and it gets bigger and better every year. And my overreaching goal for my entire channel is to help grow that industry. And I hope I'm doing a good job. Anyways, okay. Thank you for coming on my Q&A spicy journey. I love you guys. Join the hot sauce subscription if it interests you. If it doesn't interest you, don't join it. But if you like sauce, it's a good way to get some good sauce. All right. Love you guys. See you soon. Bye.
Hey, this is Brian Ames. Please click the subscribe button that you see right there, and you'll subscribe to my videos. From now on, I'm going to be eating a lot of peppers. It's going to, oh man, it's going to be great. Bye.